Hello guys and girls,
Hello.
Welcome back to the channel. So today, sorry guys, but we're going to talk specifically to the ladies, but you can stay with us if you want to listen. There's a lot to learn here as well.
To the ladies.
A lot of you ladies still say, are these exercises for me? Can I do this? Can you do a recommended exercise for ladies?
And also, why?
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 Delilah. So today we are going to explain why it is important for you, 1, to exercise, 2, to lift weights, okay? So stay with us and find out why.
So point number 1 we're going to make is the obvious benefits of exercise. First of all, it lowers your body fat percentage. And second of all, it lowers your risk of contracting hyperkinetic diseases. A couple of examples, or the most common examples of which, diabetes and chronic heart disease. So it's really, really important to lower your risk as much as you possibly can with regular exercise, 2 to 3 times a week.
Well, next one, I've been really waiting to talk about this one, to be honest, because we get so many comments from the girls saying, can you now do a video for girls when it's been made for everyone, okay?
We are guys, but we train women.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to start wearing bras for our workouts. Fact.
Maybe you could discuss these things before you announce them on the internet for me. So the next point we want to talk about,
Point number 2.
and arguably the main reason for this video,
Yes.
comes down to bone density, ladies. So when we are young, and ladies typically 18, guys about 20, depending on your puberty, you're going to hit...
25.
I'm still going, mate. You're going to hit pretty much 90% of your peak bone density. When we hit 30, we're then all pretty much at our peak bone density.
Strongest we're going to get bone-wise.
Yeah. So after we're about 30, we tend to lose roughly a percentage of our bone density a year. But unfortunately, ladies, when you hit the big M word, and I'm going to drop it, everyone's to turn off their screens.
The M word.
When you hit the big menopause, okay?
Oh my God.
Potentially, you can lose up to 10% for a few years post-menopause. So that then puts you at risk of things like osteoporosis, bone degenerative problems. I got my word out that time.
Such as arthritis.
Arthritis, brittle bones, and do you know what? It's really important to build up strength in the bones. So this leads us to our whole point of the video. Strength training, or just putting resistance against the bones, even if you're doing endurance repetitions, is going to build up strength in the bones, okay? It's also going to strengthen your joints and your ligaments and bits and bobs in between, all right? It's really good to put resistance against your bones. Girls, I know you will freak out and you think, I'm going to put on muscle. It's not the case. No. Even if you were bodybuilding 8 to 12 reps or 8 to 10 reps, you would only build 50 to 75%, a minimal of what a guy would build, because you don't have the same testosterone stores as us, unfortunately. So, or fortunately, it depends what you're looking for, really.
Yeah, exactly.
So, you haven't got to worry about that, and just because a lot of you do worry about it, we put you into the repetition phase of your muscles when we're doing our workouts. So for some of you, that's 12 to 15 reps. If it's slightly more pear-shaped, that becomes 15 to 20 reps. That way, you're going to build much less size to your muscles, and it's going to be more endurance, which basically means you can do more contractions against a lighter weight.
One more point that ties in with that is another thing when girls get on the scales, when you have started weight training, you naturally feel like you're putting on weight. Sometimes you put on 3 to 4 pounds, sometimes you can put on up to a stone. But you can't understand as to why you're putting on weight, but your clothes are getting smaller. Yeah. It's basically because that is very true when we say muscle weighs more than fat.
Absolutely.
When you're working on resistance training, as John was saying, your body fat percentage lowers. So basically you draw yourself in, everything gets tightened up, and you look goddamn hot. So you will start to weigh a little bit more, but you will be a lot smaller, a lot more shaped.
And remember, if that really is bothering you, the scales are not a great way. They're not a great way to measure how you're doing, because they measure your bones, your muscles, your organs, and mostly a lot of water that you have in your body. If you've had a big salty meal in a day, you're going to retain a lot of water, so you're going to be heavier. So the best way to do it is to mix them all together. Use the way you look in the mirror, how your clothes are fitting, your scales, and a pinch test, a fat pinch test. Those things are collectively going to give you a much better view on how your personal body mass is working out.
So the most debilitating thing for ladies when you get a little bit older, it's not a case of whether you can make it to the toilet, it's whether you can make it in time. Which doesn't sound very nice, but basically what happens when you get older, your pelvic floor starts to relax slightly, so you can have a little bit of leakage. And this is why we say it's really important to work on your pelvic floor muscles throughout your whole life, because a lot of people get to 40, 50 years old and then suddenly realise, oh, my pelvic floor is getting weak, I need to start training. By that point, it's kind of too late. It's not always too late, but you really should start and prepare for the future. So always work throughout your pregnancy if you become pregnant, and work after. And even if you never have children, you should always be doing your pelvic floor exercises just to make it as comfortable for yourselves as possible as you go through your life.
And a lot of people dodge this subject, but it is really, really important, and we like to make sure people are informed. Like,
well informed.
Exactly. If you saw our video we did a few weeks back with my sister Nick, and she was explaining about after her second baby. First baby was no issue, but the second baby, you can't hold your bladder basically, and she might sneeze and have a little bit of leakage. So we work with her to work her core, and it's just like Leon says, it becomes very debilitating as you're older whether you can make it there in time, and it's not a very nice thing for you to have to deal with, I suppose. So it's really important, and for some guys as well. So an overview on this video is make sure you're staying active, you're eating well, so you're going to cut down the risk of getting chronic heart disease, diabetes, and other hyperkinetic diseases.
Point number 1.
Number 2 was try and get a little bit of resistance training. It doesn't have to be heavy weights, but just get some resistance against those bones so you make sure you've got nice strong bones.
Nice and strong. And point number 3 was always remember to work on your pelvic floor and your core muscles to make sure you're nice and strong throughout your life.
So we hope this video has helped you ladies, and probably some of you guys as well. Yes. Especially if you've got wives, you can come home and tell her and go, or the missus, guess what I learnt today? And she's going to go, well, I'm going to cook you tea. So, on that note, guys, thank you so much for watching. We really hope this helped some of you. If you've enjoyed it, please give us a little like and a subscribe. We love you all, and we'll see you very soon.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.